ever.
Yeah, we're going to leave you with the reason why. It's a great story. Robert and Raymond are twins, weighing close to 400 pounds each.
They're on our own.
It's nice to see how they push each other throughout the journey instead of holding each other back like they did for so many years.
You ready?
I'm attorney Brian Longcar. My staff will work hard to get you everything you deserve.
I am Brian Longcar.
And we fight like we have since 1988 to protect your rights. Car wreck? Call him the strong arm, Brian Longcar.
For knocking down high prices on all Toyotas at Bird Ogden Toyota.
Drive a 2015 Toyota Corolla just $97 a month. Plus, get a 2-year or 25,000-mile scheduled maintenance plan.
Valley gas on into Bird Ogden Toyota in downtown Harlingen.
From the Valley's News Channel, this is Channel 5 News at 5.
Breaking news off the top. Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office is confirming a body was found near the San Juan area.
It was found east of Raul Longoria and south of Minnesota Road in a canal. Our Leslie Aguilar live at the scene right now. And Leslie, what have you found out since you arrived there?
Well, right now, all we know is that it is an adult male body. Right now, San Juan firefighters are in the canal. They brought dive equipment. They're going in there. They're going to extract that body. And take a look where this is happening. The south of Minnesota Road. We're in between Raul Longoria and Cesar Chavez. Now, we're told that just sometime before 2:40 this afternoon, a passerby was walking down the street. He's the one who saw that male body floating in the canal. He called San Juan police, who in turn called the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office because this is their jurisdiction. Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office says that they don't have any reason to suspect foul play right now, but they are investigating this as a homicide. FAR Police and San Juan PD are investigating, but I want you to take a look right now as well. They do have Minnesota Road blocked off at this time, all the way from Raul Longoria to Cesar Chavez. And of course, that is at this time while authorities investigate that body found. They're about to take that body out of the canal. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest details. But for now, live in San Juan, Leslie Aguilar, Channel 5 News at 5.
Heading to Baltimore now, schools and businesses are open for the first time since Monday's unrest threw that city into chaos.
35 people were arrested last night, the first night of a citywide curfew, but officials are calling that low number of arrests progress.
The National Guard and police reinforcements from as far away as New Jersey have helped restore order. While things are getting back to normal, there will be one very unusual sight: the Baltimore Orioles playing in an empty stadium.
Yeah, Major League Baseball and the team decided to go ahead with the game, but to keep it closed to fans because of the violent outbreaks there in the city. This is the first time this has ever happened in Major League Baseball history.
I just want to applaud Major League Baseball for what they've done and stepped up. The commissioner's really stepped up in this instance and made sure that he's protecting the players and make sure the city of Baltimore is safe.
The 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew remains in effect for the rest of this week. The city is bracing for more protests. Another large-scale rally is planned for Saturday.
Now, a Valley man is just blocks away from where several riots in Baltimore went down. He's attending college there.
His mom is here at home, but she's closely watching all the events in Baltimore. Channel 5's Michael Scott spoke with a student and his mom today. He's live in our studio with their story. Michael.
Well, Carrie, these images are being seen around the world. We spoke with a Donna native today. He's not far from this location. I want to go ahead and take a look back at where this all started. Around 3:30 in the afternoon on Monday, a protest turned violent. Hundreds gathered on the northwest part of the city. 30 minutes later, folks started looting the CVS pharmacy in the 2500 block of Pennsylvania Avenue. It was set on fire. Now, the CVS is 5 blocks from where that Valley student lives in his dorm called Leak Hall at Maryland Institute College of Art. He says today is much better.
She didn't believe it at first. Veronica Solis' son, Angel Rodriguez, told her he was blocks away from this.
They're not that far away, and you can see the whole thing through his window.
She says she feels helpless. Her son is in Baltimore while she's here in the Valley. Quick text messages from him to her is a sign he was doing fine.
Are you all right? He's like, yes, Mom, I'm fine. I'm here. We're good. He doesn't go out. They're not allowed to go outside the campus at all.
We spoke with Rodriguez using FaceTime today. He tells me loud sounds blared through the city's streets Monday evening. That's when it started.
We could just hear sirens going off crazy at 4:30. And so at that point, a professor stops class and she says class has been canceled for the rest of the day.
Nearly a day of rioting took place. His campus closed. Rodriguez stayed in his dorm. He says today it's peaceful. This is video he took. The National Guard is sighted in his neighborhood.
I feel comfortable walking around the city, but yeah, I've been mainly in my room.
Rodriguez tells me there's more than just the riots that needs to be heard.
Not the violence that the media is covering, because that's a small component of what has been really happening here. There's been like 90%, 95% good protest.
Baltimore now has to recover.
They were cleaning it up because they did break the windows and steal. So
It'll be some time for his neighborhood to rebuild. Rodriguez says it will happen.
Rodriguez also says there are planned peaceful protests tonight in Baltimore. Some of those will be held by his classmates. We're live in the studio. Michael Scott, Channel 5 News at 5.
Willacy County fire investigators now know what caused the sheriff maintenance building to go up in flames. The fire marshal discovered an electrical short in the building's wiring. That fire tore through the sheriff's maintenance shed in February. It destroyed most of the department's off-road vehicles. That building housed 6 ATVs, a rescue boat, and about $10,000 worth of patrol unit tires. Everything is gone. The Sheriff's Department hopes to have the insurance claim completed within the next few weeks.
An Edinburgh man will spend more than 7 years in prison for drug trafficking. A federal judge handed down the sentence today for 55-year-old Guillermo Herrera. Prosecutors say that Herrera was caught driving a load of more than 500 pounds of marijuana. The judge ordered Herrera deported to Cuba if the U.S. reestablishes relations with that country.
Harlingen city officials ruling out one possible cause in the drowning of a teen at the sports complex. The city tells Channel 5 News the aerator or fountain in that lake was ruled out as having an effect on that drowning. City spokesperson David Ralph says the pump uses very little pressure to circulate the water in the lake. 18-year-old James Moises Mendoza drowned after jumping into the water on Sunday. More than a half dozen no swimming signs are now posted around the water's edge.
State troopers are about 12 hours into their search for a driver who ditched a crash site. It happened at about 5:30 this morning near Raul Longoria and Trenton in Edinburgh. State police tell us the driver hit a utility pole which knocked out power to that area. Crews have spent the last several hours replacing a transformer in hopes of getting power restored as soon as possible. Happening right now, Weslaco police are working to identify a person of interest in a purse theft. We want you to take a look at this surveillance video. The victim and her family were having dinner at a local restaurant when she forgot her purse on the chair. Well, the next diners sit down at the very same table. And when they get up to leave, a woman in a pink shirt grabs the purse and leaves with it. Now investigators need your help. They want to identify the man who is standing at the register in this video. If you know who this man is, you're asked to call Weslaco Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen.
Donna, city officials say they're still waiting to hear from relatives of people who are buried at the city cemetery. Several headstones were damaged during last week's thunderstorm. Trees were uprooted. Some of those trees and branches fell on the graves, breaking some headstones. Crews were out yesterday cleaning up the mess. If you have a relative who is buried there, you have to contact the City of Donna Public Works Department, and the number is listed there on your screen. The American Red Cross is meeting with county officials and nonprofits to discuss the rebuilding process for a colonia that was hard hit by Friday's storm. The Red Cross declared their response to that area as an official disaster operation. Right now, volunteers estimate more than 50 people are still displaced. A church on Dillon and Anderson roads right off North Valverde Road is a temporary shelter for those families. The church is asking for donations, but they are also in need of building materials.
Across the valley today, just a gorgeous day across the area. Your current conditions show where the temperatures are right now, all in the mid-70s. 73 Brownsville to 79 in McAllen. Look at that dew point down at 46. Winds out of the north about 15. Humidity at 31%. Looks like the rest of the week it'll be almost as nice as today, maybe just a little bit warmer. We'll take a look at that first Warn 5 forecast coming up in a few minutes.
A Border Patrol agent on the northern border is recovering this afternoon after he's rescued. How he ended up in a river. Just ahead.
And authorities say a suspect was shot and killed at the site of an illegal marijuana operation in California. What led to the shooting? In just 2 minutes. You're watching Channel 5 News at 5.
Breaking news. Breaking stories. This is Channel 5 News with Oscar Adami, Carrie Zayas, and First Warn 5 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith. This is Channel 5 News at 5.
At El Pollo Loco, our new carne asada entrees start with fire-grilled steak with smoky chipotle salsa on our tacos, fresh pico on our tostada, and poblano sauce in our burrito. It's a dance of flavors you can taste. Try our new carne asada entrees. El Pollo Loco. Carne is here.
If you can afford about $8 a day, you could be driving this brand new Dodge Journey from the real Don Johnson during our award season event.
You can afford $8 a day, right? Only at your real down-home neighborhood dealer.
The real Don Johnson Motors, Brownsville.
When our citizens come talk to us, we listen and we get things done. This is why FAR has never been better.
At the City of FAR, we work as a team. We work hard to build partnerships for the betterment of our community.
We're proud of the City of FAR, and we want to continue to make it better. Come out and vote. Vote for our city and a better future for your family.
With your vote, our city will continue moving forward.
It's a fact. FAR has never been better.
Let's vote for Adan Farias, Arturo Cortez, Mario Bracamontes, and Jimmy Garza.
When Martin Cooper invented the mobile phone...
Hello? Hey, this is Marty. Guess what we did?
Connectivity took a mighty leap forward. Now Mazda uses advanced technology to keep you seamlessly connected to the world.
Hey.
Hi, headed home?
On my way.
And the road. This is the Mazda 3. What do you drive? Now, get the 2015 Mazda 3 for 0.9% APR for 60 months.
If you love the latest technology, more Dolly gas, and big savings, Bert Ogden Mazda in Mission and Edinburgh is a place to be.
Plus, you get selection with more than 150 Mazdas with big savings, like a 35 Highway MPG 2016 Mazda CX-5 for as low as $288 per month, or get up to 40 Highway MPG in a 2015 Mazda 3, now just $208 per month.
Get more choices and more savings. Shop Bert Ogden Mazda in Mission or Edinburgh today. Dolly gas.
El Pollo Loco's new 3-course family meal comes with our citrus marinated chicken, sides, churros, and now our fire-grilled chicken pizza. It's a new addition to our family that'll be loved by your family. Satisfy everyone with our new $20 3-course family meal. El Pollo Loco, crazy you can taste.
On our northern border, a Border Patrol agent is recovering after he was rescued from a river. Officials say the agent was responding to another agency request for assistance when he lost control of his truck and crashed into the St. Clair River in Michigan. The agent smashed his way out of his truck using his baton, then clung to a seawall and called for help. The agent was rescued and treated for hypothermia.
A raid on an alleged marijuana growing operation in California ended with one suspect dead. The feds went to the site on a wildlife refuge and ran into the armed suspects this morning. Officials say that one suspected grower pointed a handgun at a game warden and would not lower the weapon, and that's when gunfire rang out. The suspect was the only person shot. The Sacramento County Sheriff's Department now conducting an investigation into this shooting.
Some new photos were introduced today during testimony in the penalty phase of the trial of convicted Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. The picture shows Djohar's older brother Tamerlan with a full beard and wearing traditional Muslim robes. He's flashing a pistol in what appears to be a rallying flag of jihad. This photo is one of 3 that were recovered from Tamerlan's computer. The defense says Tamerlan was the brainchild of that Boston bombing, and he coerced his younger brother into taking part. Jurors are trying to decide if Djokhar Tsarnaev will get life in prison or the death penalty.
Now to the earthquake disaster in Nepal. The first food supplies are finally reaching villages near the epicenter. Rescue helicopters are flying nonstop, evacuating the wounded from the rural areas that have been the hardest hit. In some towns, the destruction runs block after block. Houses are leveled, monuments are left in ruin. Officials fear there might be as many as 10,000 people dead. The U.S. Embassy says a number of Americans are still unaccounted for. The official death toll from Saturday's earthquake is now over 5,000. 19 people were also killed on Mount Everest when the quake triggered an avalanche. 5 dozen more were killed in India and China, and 35 died in Tibet.
What if something like that were to happen to San Antonio? I would definitely hope that the world would come help if San Antonio went through a tragedy such as that.
Now, some students who are part of a group who help refugees settle and adapt to life in the U.S. are needing help themselves. They're looking to raise money for their native earthquake-stricken country of Nepal. They say it is difficult to get information and to contact relatives because communication services are down. But they have been able to connect with family members through social media.
Gorgeous day across the valley today. Sunshine, mild temperatures, low humidity. Looks like it'll continue for a while, too. Your forecast for Roma, McCook, Livia, the rest of the valley. It's coming up next.
Sometimes a work of art just speaks to me. It says perfect with your new shoes. And it's on sale at Belle's. And with the extra savings from my coupon, it's like getting this fabulousness for free. That's why I love it.
Your Mother's Day sale at Belle's.
This is your Tundra, your castle on wheels. And here you rule. Go anywhere, do anything. Just a turn of that key, and you're free to roam. But first, a little ballet. The 2015 Toyota Tundra. It's Texas built for today's truck driver.
Get 0% financing for 60 months plus $2,000 on a new 2015 Tundra Crewmax Texas Edition for a savings over $6,300. Toyota, let's go places.
A night at the races will be Tuesday, May 5th at 6 p.m. at the McAllen Country Club. Enjoy dinner, horse races, mint juleps, and live and silent auctions to benefit Camp University's special needs kids. For tickets, call Rio Bank at 631-7890.
It's the purple pepper sauce.
No. Purple pepper sauce.
That's not right.
Yeah, it is.
Pepper. What is it?
It's a sauce.
Purple pepper.
Purple
Pepper
sauce.
Hard to pronounce, easy to love. Church's Purple Pepper Sauce is the perfect way to top off 9 spicy mixed pieces for just $10.99.
Church's Chicken, have the love.
And for dessert, try our Oreo Biscuit Bites.
Burt Ogden Cadillac is a trusted name in luxury vehicles where you get the service, selection, and savings you deserve. Drive a 2015 Cadillac SRX just $339 per month. Plus, we have over 20 brand new 2015 Escalades on the way. Reserve yours today. Come discover a new standard of luxury ownership at Burt Ogden Cadillac, Ryan Road and Expressway 83 in Mission.
Tonight, reporting from Baltimore, David Muir on the ground, the riots, the protests, a city frustrated, divided, demanding answers. Continuing coverage tonight on ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir.
At the Belle's Mother's Day sale, spring separates are 40% off. Find a great selection of designer fragrance sets for her and designer handbags for 20 to 40% off. With everything you'll save.
It's like getting this masterpiece for free.
That's why you'll love it. Your Mother's Day sale at Belle's.
And now, First Warn 5 weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith.
Hey folks, what a gorgeous day it turned out to be across the valley today, huh? The low humidity, light northerly breeze, just a few patchy clouds overhead. Pretty good day. Right now it's 80, Starr County. Everybody else in the 70s, 73 Port Isabel, Brownsville, 75 from Harlingen to Raymondville and Weslaco, and then a little warmer, 79 McAllen, 77 in Edinburgh. Look at these dew points. They're really low. In the 40s now, valley-wide. That's on the bottom end of our muggy meter. Very dry air. The humidity, take a look, 30 to 40%, something like that. So very comfortable across the valley. That's going to continue for a couple more days, I think, before we really see a return to the warmer, more humid stuff. It's going to take a little while before it comes back. Satellite and radar together shows a very quiet weather pattern over South Texas right now. Some clouds along the coast and offshore. We did see a few clouds overhead today, but really not much. And Future Track says it stays this way. Tonight it's cool, temperatures into the 50s, and then tomorrow right back up into the upper 70s, probably low 80s again. But with a low humidity, light breeze, should be another gorgeous day. Friday looks pretty good too. They'll call it in 6 just because it's so pretty, because it's going to be pretty again on Friday. Sunshine, low humidity, light winds again. As we head into the weekend, I think we're still looking at nice stuff, but by Saturday and for certain by Sunday, the southeast wind will kick back in. That'll bring some humidity back in, but that's going to take a little while. So we're dry, dry, dry Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And your temperatures stay below average. The normal is 87. Look at this, 81, then a couple of 85s. Records are up over 100. Not going to get anywhere near that. We're barely going to reach the normal high at 87. Rest of Texas has gone quiet today as well. You remember yesterday, a big storm up in the Panhandle. That has moved out. They were in the 40s yesterday at this time. Everybody's recovered temperature-wise. Everybody's getting sunshine now. High pressure's built in. That's in control. That's going to kind of settle down closer to us and almost right on top of us by tomorrow. And again, by Friday, it's nearby. As long as it's close, we don't have a whole lot of wind. By Saturday and Sunday, it starts to pull away. And as it does, our winds will start to come out of the southeast a little more. That'll bring some humidity back in, and by say Tuesday, Wednesday, the chance of rain's on the increase, but that's next week. This week looks pretty good. Traveling tomorrow, getting a really early start on the weekend. It's going to be cold in the Panhandle, chilly in Dallas, mild in San Antonio. Will be cool. By afternoon, though, everybody rebounds up into the 70s. So here's what we have for you. For tonight, clear and cool, a low of 53, northerly winds. Then tomorrow, we're back up to 81 degrees, northeasterly winds about 6 to 12. Looks like a gorgeous day. Next 3 days, 81, 85, 85. And after that, looks like temperatures will stay pretty mild with readings mostly in the 80s, nighttime lows in the 50s, 60s, and eventually in the 70s. So warm weather is back, and that's a sign that we can finally say thank you to everybody for their cooperation with Tim's Coats again this year. Got some familiar faces and a few new faces, don't we, Bill?
We sure do, and we've been reincarnated with these young ones here, and gosh, we look pretty good, don't we?
We look pretty good 30 years ago, or maybe 50 years ago, as the case may be.
Maybe so.
It's the 30th year for us.
30th year. Very successful 30th year. We approach 8,000 coats that we cleaned and distributed this year, and it's largely due to your efforts, our efforts, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, and it's just a wonderful group of people to work with.
I think half those coats were in my car at one point. They go to your place or one of the other participating cleans. I want to come up here because these are some of the faces you saw in the commercial, right? That we were pretending that they were us 30 years ago when we first came up with this idea. And did this make you a TV star?
Sort of, yeah.
Did your friends say they saw you on TV?
Yes.
Some people you didn't know come up to you like in a restaurant and go, I've seen you somewhere before.
Yeah, they questioned.
Yeah, they questioned, yeah. Very cool, right? First time on a big TV, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. How about you? Did people say, you look familiar?
Yes, sir.
A little bit. Did you have fun?
Of course.
How about you? Did you like it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you played a little Marty Moore. This is Marty back here, and you played Marty. Probably the toughest role of the whole bunch, but you did a good job, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, did you enjoy doing that too?
Yes, sir.
What'd your friends say?
Not that much.
No, they left you. Well, they know Marty. That's why. They knew better. They didn't want to pick on you. So this is the group, though, that's really responsible for making sure the drive worked again this year. We really appreciate you guys and the other two who are not here today for being such a big part of the commercial. There's places, you know, we're wrapping this up today, but if you've got a coach you don't need, I'll bet, Marty, you'd probably still take it, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. We take them year-round, Tim.
So,
we're never through with Tim's Coats.
Well, and that's because the need never goes away. Catholic Charities, you can always use a coat, can't you?
That's correct. We have a lot of families that are out there needy.
That's fantastic. I'm going to sneak around the front side just real quickly. I'm going to come over to this side because Salvation Army, you guys as well, coats come in, and they go out about as fast as they come in, don't they?
That's correct. Every year, and for 30 years we've been doing that, and thank you for donating, and you know that they're going to go into the families that need them.
How quickly do they go out when you get a big, when a big cold snap comes in and we deliver some? Are they out as fast as they get there?
Just 2 or 3 days.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty. Well, thank you to all of you. We appreciate everything that you guys did. We appreciate everything you all do. The dry cleaners, everybody who participates. Thank you so much. And of course, to all of you who at home brought coats in this year, thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you in year 31. That's it. We'll be back right after this.
Our Pizza Hut Big Flavor Dipper Pizza is almost 2 feet of pizza. Whoa. You're gonna need a bigger car.
Get the new Big Flavor Dipper Pizza with 4 flavorful sauces and a free Pepsi 2-liter with online orders. Just $12.99. Only at Pizza Hut.
Honda's the only company ever to win both the Indy 500
and a Supercross Racing Championship.
They were also the first to come up with this. The Honda Dream Garage Sales Events, where you can get great deals on almost everything Honda makes, including the sporty Civic, named best value in its class. Get great deals on Civics right now.
Hurry, the Honda Dream Garage sales event ends soon. Get a great deal on a Civic today at your Honda dealer.
Gilman got rule number 167. At Gilman, we just don't sell you a vehicle. We sell you a conversation starter.
Where you going, Maria?
We can only do so much.
During the Honda Dream Garage Sales Event, buy a 2015 Honda Civic for 0% APR at Gilman Honda in San Benito. Gilman, big enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Gilman got rule number 167. Gilman gives you something to talk about.
It's the way to go.
The first full-service bar and barbershop in South Texas. Sports Barbershop. Kick back and relax. Let yourself be pampered. Get your friends together for the big game. Sports bar, barbershop, all in one. Stop by every so often or get a monthly membership. Sports Barbershop, cutting your stresses. Now open just south of Trenton on North 10th McAllen.
We're building a better world at Time Warner Cable.
You must be Steven. What are we watching?
We're gonna go do homework.
A world where everyone can watch what they want, where they want.
Oh, hey, Steve, right?
With 9 platforms and counting.
He's a keeper.
Only Time Warner Cable gives you more content on more devices. So there's always somewhere to watch what you love. Whatever you're passionate about, Time Warner Cable invents better ways to love it even more. With an offer like this, there's never been a better time to switch. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
You just can't flush? No showers?
No showers. Digging deeper into the Rio Grande Valley's water crisis from Starr County.
They can't get water unless they break the lock.
To Hidalgo County.
I mean, this water almost turns green, murky, smelly.
To Austin lawmakers spending billions. We take an in-depth look at the valley's water crisis. Life without water. Thursday on Channel 5 News at 10.
Hey, wing fans, it's wing season at Pizza Hut. Delicious, crispy fried and sauced to perfection. And right now, get 8 wings and waffle fries for just $7.99. Or double the fun and get 16 wings and even more fries for $14.99. Pizza, wings, fries. Delivered to your door. Pizza Hut.
We continue to follow the breaking news that we brought you at the top of our newscast. A man's body was found near the San Juan area. Very few details are being released right now.
Yeah, we do know that Raul Longoria all the way to Cesar Chavez is being blocked off due to this ongoing investigation.
Now, all we know right now is that it is an adult male. It was found earlier this afternoon. San Juan firefighters are going to extract that body south of Minnesota Road and Raul Longoria. Sometime before this afternoon, a passerby found that body there.
Yeah, and police, they called police. Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office was called in, and they do not have any reason, at least at this point, to suspect foul play right now, but they are investigating as it was a homicide. Again, this is Raul Longoria blocked off all the way to Cesar Chavez.
And we're going to continue to follow the story and bring in the very latest. We'll be right back.
Make a fashion statement for your home at Lax Fashion Show and Sale. Discover the newest styles and home furnishings and save an extra 15% off Lax exciting new Furniture Plus free delivery and no interest for 24 months. Now at Lax.
Drive a 2015 Ram 1500 Crew Cab now just $27,995.
Get more variety, great service, and save at Bird Ogden Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Just take the Altus Palmas exit in Harlingen.
Eating candy and sweets helps sugar bugs grow. It takes the power of a little hero to defeat the sugar bugs. Get empowered at Little Heroes Pediatric Dentistry, where children of all ages receive comprehensive dental care, even babies. We help kids gain healthy smiles through imagination and education. Are you a little hero? Little Heroes Pediatric Dentistry.
Homemade dinner is great, except for the homemade mess. Subway restaurants make dinner easy again with the Dinner Time deal. That's any 2 or more foot-long subs for just $5 each, every day after 4 p.m. and all day Sunday. Subway, eat fresh.
There's only one South Texas Buick GMC.
I am South Texas Buick GMC.
I am South Texas Buick GMC.
I am South Texas Buick GMC.
Come in today and save thousands on a new 2015 GMC Sierra Crew Cab SLT with $9,000 off. GMC, we are professional grade.
This is my South Texas Buick GMC.
I am South Texas Buick GMC.
South Texas Buick GMC. Not the biggest, just the best.
We've been thinking, a pitcher who can paint the corners is known as a Rembrandt. Who doesn't love that kind of precision? At GMC, we get that. Not everyone can deliver a 95-mile-an-hour Rembrandt. This is precision. This is GMC. Welcome to the show.
This month, get nearly $9,200 total value when you trade up to this specially equipped Sierra half-ton SLT. See your Valley GMC dealer.
See all the great new styles and fresh new looks at Lax Fashion Show and Sale. Make a fashion statement for your home and save an extra 15% off Lax exciting new furniture. Plus, no interest for 24 months and free delivery now at Lax.
Well, the niceness will continue for a few days. Look at that 7-day forecast, and it looks nice. Tomorrow, 53 for a low, 81 for a high. Low humidity, bright sunshine, and really we just go up a couple degrees as we get closer to the weekend. By the first of next week, a few more clouds, a little more humid, maybe a couple of showers. An update for you coming up at 6 o'clock.
So we'll enjoy the niceness while it lasts.
Well, that's right.
Thank you so much for being with us today for Channel 5 News at 5.
Channel 5 News at 6, another half hour. In the meantime, have yourself a great evening. Bye-bye.
Closed captioning brought to you by Channel 5 and Clark Chevrolet McAllen.
Revolution coming at the United Dealerships of Bert Ogden. Join the truck nation today at Bert Ogden Chevrolet, Bert Ogden Ram, Bert Ogden GMC, Bert Ogden Toyota, Bert Ogden Nissan, and Fiesta Chevrolet. When you think trucks, think Bert Ogden. We are the truck nation.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith. Do you have the KRGV weather app? It's interactive. You can track storms headed right towards your neighborhood with live radar. In fact, you can check the weather for any place you want. Check out the 10-day forecast. One touch delivers hour-by-hour weather. You can see video forecasts and even submit your very own weather photos. It's the fast way to get your official forecast. Download the free app available for Android and iOS devices.
Supported by McDonald's, Payne Auto Group, Plains Capital Bank, and Shaw Eye Center.
Channel 5 News on KRGV, #1 in the Rio Grande Valley.
You're watching us, expecting more depth, more investigations. News that affects you and your neighbors.
Here in the Valley. And we can't thank you enough for allowing us into your home every day.
And thank you for making the Valley the greatest place in the world.
Channel 5 News on KRGV, #1 in the Rio Grande Valley. You're watching KRGV, Channel 5 Weslaco.
Breaking news tonight from Baltimore. At this hour, new protests on the move before the curfew. And for the first time ever, Major League Baseball playing to an empty stadium. And the mother who pulled her son from those riots on live television tonight, right here together. What he tells us about the moment he saw his mother coming. Also breaking, the spacecraft spiraling toward Earth at 17,000 miles an hour. Out of control. Chaos for passengers. Some American Airlines flights canceled because the iPads the pilots depend on went down. We have new video tonight the moment the earthquake hits, buildings coming down, and days later, the moment this American family learns their son is alive. And the university president in the crowd of partying students taking over a neighborhood. What he's caught saying.
From ABC News World Headquarters, this is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we begin tonight with fast-moving developments again in Baltimore this evening. The pictures of the growing protests coming in right now. Take a look. Aerials of the crowds gathering in Baltimore just hours before the curfew begins again at 10 p.m., a citywide curfew that is supposed to last a week. Seeming to work, the governor calling last night's relative calm a turning point. The question, of course, will it hold tonight? And here is the view coming in from our ABC News chopper flying over New York City at this hour. These are live pictures of protesters gathering in Manhattan as we come on the air. These pictures from WABC. And it all comes after last night. The tear gas, riot police in the streets shortly before curfew. Small skirmishes, hardly the riots we saw. And tonight, look at this image. That baseball game, a first. The fans ordered to stay home. The Orioles playing without a fan in the stadium. In a moment here, we hear from the mother and son on live TV. She pulled her son out of those riots. He tells us what that moment was like. But we begin here with ABC senior national correspondent Jim Avila in Baltimore.